You need to decide with confidence what it is that you want. Do you want a relationship? Yes or no? I don't care what someone else is telling you that they can or cannot give you. You can't give that to me? Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else and find somebody else that can do that, because in my heart, that is what I want. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia Gogan. If you are new, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe because it's a good time over here. Also, I have a podcast, the Globe Seekers Podcast. If you wanna go check that out, you can. Same with my Instagram if you wanna see what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, what I'm eating, all that good stuff. So I have my coffee here. You know what I've been doing lately is in the mornings, I know how important it is to eat, and I'm really trying to eat better. Like, I'm really trying to eat in the morning so I don't mess up my hormones, but sometimes I can't do it. So I'll wake up and I give myself a little bit of time to just watch something that inspires me, get in touch with myself, and have a little bit of coffee. But I don't drink all of the coffee, and then I'll go to the gym or I'll move my body or I'll do something and then come back and eat, or I'll eat if I'm hungry that day. But I always end up having like half a glass left, so it's like almost 11 a.m. I just got out of the shower, everything is done, I'm ready for the day, and now I have my coffee, so I just wanted to finish it because it's really good. So last night was winter solstice. I don't know when this video is gonna go up. I'm gonna try and get it up as early as possible. I'm gonna be going to Tulum for the new year, so I'm doing a lot of batch filming, but I'm gonna try and get this video up earlier because I think that this message really needs to be hit home for you guys and for me as well. But last night was winter solstice, so I'm not that spiritual. I'm not that into like new moon rituals and just different days that are really more energetically big. I'm not really into it, but I knew that the winter solstice is a time where you can manifest, or you can cut soul ties, you can do some witchy stuff, if you will. And it's funny because my somatic therapist had asked me if I wanted to do any like ritual witchy thing with her, and I originally had said no because I didn't know if I was ready to do what I'm going to talk about, but I ended up actually doing something. So yesterday I decided before I went to bed, maybe I should set an intention for the year, or I don't know, just put something out into the universe because it's winter solstice and it's supposed to be like a very big energetic time. So I sat with myself and I was like, okay, like maybe I'll do some manifesting or whatever, but I'm in a place in my life right now where I'm very aligned and I have a lot of trust in what I'm doing and what I want in my life, that I don't really need to sit down and create this like big manifestation list and like do all these rituals, because I just have a trust in a knowing that things are going to happen. And when you get on a spiritual journey, which usually happens once you start to heal and actually work on your mental health, they kind of like collide. You stop having to feel like you need to do all these rituals and journaling and affirmations and constant reaffirming to yourself about certain manifestations. But I have a video coming out on that. It'll either already be out or it will be coming, so we'll talk about that in a different video. So I was like, okay, let me just set an intention, and I was like I was just saying out loud some of the things that I want to happen this year, but I was also like, I already know these are gonna happen, so what else can I do? What else is sitting within me? What am I carrying with me that I've been carrying for a while? And I ended up tapping into the part of me that has been waiting for love. I recently got out of a relationship, and it was more so on his side. He decided that he was not able to be in a relationship, and of course that affected me. And it was a relationship where I wanted to be in, and it was actually very beautiful. And I think that there was really nothing that wrong, to the point where, you know, when you look back at some of your relationships and you realize like, I do not want to be with that person, like, or I could see how we were not compatible or just didn't work or whatever. It wasn't really that type of relationship. I'm not going to get into the details, but he wasn't able to be in a relationship with me. And because I've been through so many breakups before, and just I'm very emotionally stable, and I've been through it before, I was really able to carry myself through this breakup. And I, you know, did a lot of self-reflecting and a lot of healing work and a lot of things on my end, because that's what I always do when I end up getting out of a relationship, because there's always a part that I play. and there's always something I can learn. So I've been doing that work for a while. And although I've been doing a really good job at that, there's still a part of me that felt like I was waiting. Like somebody decided that they weren't able to show up and have a relationship and give me the love that I really wanted, because I wanted that. I was in that relationship for a reason, because I wanted love and I wanted a relationship. And somebody decided for their own reasons that they needed to step away. And what I've realized that I've been doing in a lot of my relationships is when the man decides that he needs to step away for whatever reason, it's almost as if I let them decide whether I can have love in a relationship or not. When somebody steps out of my life and decides that they can't be with me, I automatically tell myself, okay, well then I guess you have to wait for love. You have to wait for a relationship. You should spend time working on yourself and healing yourself and just waiting. I started to think last night, like, why is it that I automatically always tell myself that I need to wait for love in a relationship when someone decides that they are not able to give me that love and have that relationship with me? Why do I automatically let someone else decide what I'm going to get into my life? And of course that brought up a lot of sadness for me, a lot of feeling of like abandonment almost, but also just waiting, right? And what I like to do, a lot of healing work, I really like to get deep into this feeling, and I want to bring myself back to the first time I ever really felt this deep feeling, because truthfully, in my opinion, that's how you really can transform. And so I let myself sink into the feeling of this loneliness, really, because that's what it is, right? You're waiting, you're separated from someone, and you're kind of just telling yourself that, you know, love will happen for you, but not right now. Not right now, not on your timeline, it's everyone else's. So I sunk into this feeling and I got brought to a memory in childhood. I remember it was the first feeling I've ever felt of depression as a child. And I always have felt that feeling before, like in my life, even as I grew up, but I didn't really realize that was actually the first time I experienced depression as a child. And I was sitting in this spare room that we had in our house. And I remember it was a dark room and there was a TV. It was like the VHS movies, and I kept replaying the same movie over and over. I just remember, like, in my childhood, I was always watching the same movie over and over. There's a lot of times where I was very alone. I didn't have siblings in my household, and I was with my father a lot of the time, and he was very emotionally distant. He shut me out a lot. Like, it was just me. I was very alone. So I remember specifically in this room, I was waiting for my mom to come home because she was working, and I felt like I was always waiting for my mom to come and save me, to make me feel whole and safe again, because I didn't feel safe around my father. Not to the point where I felt like he was going to harm me, but it was just like I just felt so alone and just bored and depressed. And I remember having this video just keep playing, and it was like a blue screen, and it was just very dark and deep, and I was so sad. And I started to channel what I was feeling when I was in this space, and it was this feeling of waiting. I was waiting for somebody to save me. I was waiting for somebody to let me out of this room. I was waiting for my mom to come home. I was waiting for someone else to decide that I get to feel better. And I realized that that's the type of energy that I'm in, even in my adult life. I feel like I'm waiting for someone to let me feel happy again. I'm waiting for someone to say that I'm allowed to have love, or allowed to have something, or allowed to play, or allowed to whatever in my life. And when I was younger, my father didn't meet my needs, my emotional needs, and he only did that certain times of the day, certain times of the week, whatever. So it was almost like I was just constantly waiting for him to give me the go-ahead that I'm allowed to be happy today. I'm allowed to go to my sister's house today, which would make me feel really happy. There was times where I didn't know if he was gonna bring me after school to my sister's house, which would have made me feel really happy, my half-sister, by the way, or not. But I wasn't allowed to ask. I wasn't the one deciding. It was all him. And when I was in this state back in childhood, I was just thinking, like, I don't want to sit in this dark room anymore, playing the same movie over and over. being in this gross room, this spare room. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. What is it going to take for me to get out of this room? Because it's not going to be my dad coming up and telling me to come out of this room and that I'm allowed to come. It's not going to be that. And my mom's not going to be here till tomorrow morning. So what is it that's going to allow me to step out of this room? Because I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be in this feeling anymore. And it's clear to me that my father's not going to decide and guide me out of this room, and my mom's not coming home till tomorrow. So what is it? And I remember thinking back to when I was younger, sometimes what I would do is I would take my mom's shirt and I would sleep with it and I would smell it because it had the smell of her. And every time that I smelled her, like, it just made me feel very safe. Like, it was my mom, it was like her work shirt, not like a gross work shirt. It was just like the natural smell of her. And I would always keep that sometimes when I felt really alone. And so I remember just like creating this thought, this idea in my head. As I was in this memory, I imagined my young self holding my mom's shirt and feeling very protected. And when I felt really protected, I was like, I can fucking do this. I'm gonna decide to get out of this bed. I'm gonna make the bed, make it all clean, because I felt really gross in that room. I cleaned up the bed, I fixed up the bed, I turned the TV off, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna take my mom's shirt and I'm gonna walk into my room and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna go to sleep because I don't want this anymore. I don't want all of this gross, depressed, all of these emotions, all of this crappiness feeling anymore. I'm gonna decide to walk away. And I just imagined myself going into my bed, laying with my mom's shirt, feeling really, really protected, and realizing like I just did this. I decided to say no to this feeling of depression, this feeling of loneliness. And I literally just like held my hand to my chest the way that I'm doing right now, and I sunk into the feeling of feeling very protected and feeling very powerful and feeling like I get to choose how I feel right now. And I led myself to fall asleep. And when I came back up from this imaginary scenario that I created, I realized that all it really took was embodying the feeling of feeling protected and allowing myself to decide how I want to feel. And I realized that I can channel that same energy in my adult life right now. I can decide that I no longer want that gross, depressed, boring, scary room anymore. I can decide to fix it up if I want to, open the door, and walk out, because I am protected and I'm supported. And what I really learned from this hypnotherapy session that I did on myself really was that in my childhood, I was unfortunately around somebody who decided how I got to feel that day, decided whether I was gonna feel happy or safe or scared or depressed. My dad used to decide for me all the time. Now, that's what happens sometimes when your parents are your parents. They decide where you go and what you get in life. But the problem is that my father, he was very emotionally neglectful. He was very emotionally distant to me. And he didn't know how to let me feel anything that I wanted to feel. He gave me a very short amount of time to feel happiness. And if I felt sadness, I also wasn't allowed to show that as well. So I learned to feel a certain way depending on what he decided. So if he decided today that we are not going to have a fun day, then I automatically said, okay, we're not gonna have a fun day. If he decided that we're gonna go to my sister's house, which always made me happy, then okay, today's gonna be a good day. Today's gonna be fun. If he decided that he wanted to be lazy today and do nothing and sit around the house and watch TV all day because he was in pain, I had to do the exact same thing. I had to go up into that room and replay a video over and over and over again and feel so depressed because he was feeling that way. And I started to realize that that was the pattern that I was creating in my adult life, especially when it comes to men. When a man decides that he, for whatever reason, good or bad, doesn't matter, he can't be in a relationship with me, or he can't be in a relationship in general, that I have to say, okay, fine, okay, Whatever you say, that's okay. What I tend to do is take their truth as mine, and I tell myself, okay, well, you don't deserve a relationship and you can't have a relationship right now. You shouldn't be ready for a relationship. You should work on yourself. You should wait, you should wait, you should wait. Why should I have to wait? Why do I have to wait to feel happy and to get into a loving relationship when I want that, when I am ready to have that? Why am I letting everyone else's feelings, timelines, values, needs, wants affect my own life, my own timeline? You can't show up for me right now and love me and commit to a relationship. Okay, that's not my problem. Someone can't offer me the opportunity that I'm really looking for. Okay, not my problem. Doesn't mean that I have to just sit here and not have a good job or not have any opportunities because this one job or this one company can't give me the opportunity that I'm looking for. Someone can't be a good friend to me. Someone doesn't know how to be a good friend to me. Okay, doesn't mean that I have to now decide that I'm gonna have no friends and I'm gonna be lonely and I have to stay lonely and just have no friends. But that's how I was being in relationships. That's how I was taking relationships. When I got into contact with someone who wasn't able to have a relationship with me, or wasn't able to give me the opportunity, or wasn't able to show up how they should have been showing up in my life, I let them decide. I let them have power over my life. And I realized last night, I am no longer letting what other people need to do on their own timelines affect my own timeline and what I want. Why do I have to wait for things that I really want in my life when I'm actually ready? Why do I have to wait months and months and tell myself that, oh, okay, well, one day you'll have love, but it's not gonna be right now. And you should really wait, and you should really heal, and you should work on yourself more. I'm even thinking about the times where my mom was really struggling with addictions. Just because you're struggling with addictions doesn't mean that that needs to fuck up my life. And one thing that I realized as well is that I actually had no problem with saying, screw you, that's not gonna be my life when it came to my mom, or it came to, you know, friends or opportunities. I don't have that much of an issue. Like, obviously, I've learned how to just not be the victim and let people go and not affect my life. But the one area that I really struggled with, and clearly I'm still struggling with, is with men. And why is that? Because that was the biggest issue that I had in childhood. See, when it comes to healing, it's gonna be very apparent the actual thing that needs to be healed depending on the relationship that you had or did not have with a certain parent in your life. And the person that you really struggle to get close with in your life, that relational dynamic is usually what's going to reoccur in your adult life. And for a lot of women, for me included, it's our fathers. We've had estranged relationships with them. We haven't had the best relationships with them. And if you want to say daddy issues, yeah, daddy issues. So I think it's really interesting thinking about my life and how assertive I can be in so many areas of my life. But when it comes to relationships, especially men, I've just realized how prevalent this has been, and the energetic messaging that I send to myself when things don't work out in a relationship. There's a subconscious messaging to myself that, okay, see, they get to decide, and because they've decided, you are not allowed to have this relationship. You're not allowed to have something that you really want. Because the truth is, every time I've gotten in relationships, it's because I've been wanting a relationship. I want love. I want all of these things. And recently, this past breakup, I just realized, like, I truly wanted a relationship. Like, I am ready for that. I have done so much work, and it comes to a point where you don't need to be perfect to be in a relationship. And there's definitely times where I've been through relationships where I do think that I needed to reflect a lot and work on things. And there's never not a time where when I'm leaving a relationship, I don't reflect and I don't try and change some of the things that I brought into that relationship, always. But there was a level of that messaging that I was giving to myself as I was healing and as I was going through this separation, of maybe in a few years, or maybe when your life is a little bit more like this or like that, or when you fix this about yourself or that. And it's like, no, I don't want that to be my story anymore. And thinking about the winter solstice and just cutting old patterns or ties or manifesting whatever you want, I was just thinking, like, I truly am done telling myself that I am not allowed to have things that I really want in my life because of somebody else, because someone else decided that they no longer can show up, that they can't give me the opportunity, that they can't be X, Y, and Z. If you can't be in a relationship, okay, that's on you. If you don't know how to give somebody love, okay, that's on you. If you can't give me the job opportunity, okay, that's on you. But that doesn't mean that I am gonna now put myself low and hold out and wait around and, okay, well, I'll tell myself soon, or, you know, I'll just be alone for a little bit and just wait it out. I'm done waiting it out. I'm done. And I feel like there's probably many instances where maybe if it's not even about a relationship, but anywhere else in your life where you've kind of fallen into this waiting game or this maybe even victim mentality, because that's kind of what it is, right? It's like, I've been hurt and you get to decide and I'm just going to wait and be alone. You don't have to. Stop letting people decide what you want in your life. And I am somebody who consciously chooses to decide a lot of things. I decide what I want to do with my career, how I want my life to look, how I want myself to look, how I'm treating myself, how I'm showing up, how my friends are showing up for me. I'm very, very good at that. But of course, there's different areas of my life where I'm not so good at that. But last night I decided, no, I get to decide. And that is something that I'm really learning in my life when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to creating the life that I really want, is like, you need to decide with confidence what it is that you want. Do you want a relationship? Yes or no? I don't care what someone else is telling you that they can or cannot give you. You can't give that to me? Okay, I'm gonna go somewhere else and find somebody else that can do that, because in my heart, that is what I want. Why is it that I'm telling myself that I can't have these things? I am deserving of having these things. You are deserving of having the life that you want. If you have this desire, you are deserving. Now, does that mean that you can automatically should get everything, every opportunity, every relationship, No, it's gonna require some work. It's gonna require some self-reflection, especially when it comes to relationships. It's gonna require some commitment, some growth, some taking other people's interest into your own. But at the end of the day, if you're doing all that, then yes, you deserve to have what you want in your life. Stop playing so small. Stop playing small. Stop letting everyone decide what happens to you in your life and what you get to experience in your life because of their own timeline. Stop compromising your values and what you really want in your life because of someone else's timeline, because someone else can't show up the way that you would like someone to show up. Stop letting people decide how you should feel today. Stop letting every little fucking negative circumstance affect you. Stop taking other people's traumas onto your own. Like, I feel like a lot of us do this, especially women. We just, when somebody's hurting or somebody's going through something, or like when we're talking about relationships or just anything in general, it's like we have to take on everyone else's shit, everyone's burden, everyone's everything. There's a level of connecting with people and healing and helping and nurturing and loving other people. But at the end of the day, you need to bring your energy back to yourself. You need to remember that you are your own person and that you also are deserving of something that you want in your life. And you don't need to always pick up everyone else's fucking trauma, everyone else's like dysregulated nervous systems, dysregulated energy, anxiety, all of these things. You don't need to. You are allowed to bring your energy back. And I think for me, this state that I've been going through right now, it was very much so my energy was all everywhere else. And everyone got to decide how I felt. And I've come to a point, especially last night, it was like the night, I realized I'm taking my energy back. I get to decide what I want in my life. And I also know that I deserve to have what I want in my life. My inner child, the child that was sitting in that room, bored and depressed and lonely, she deserves to have a good time. That's another thing when it comes to living life and feeling deserving. If you really struggle with letting yourself as an adult like play and have, enjoy life, think about your inner child. For what reason on earth did I deserve to be sitting in a boring ass room with a tyrant of a father who was miserable and didn't know how to handle my emotions. I didn't deserve that. I did not deserve that. I was such a good kid. I never did anything wrong. I listened to the rules. I followed the rules, and I was a child. Even if I didn't follow the fucking rules, I was a child. I didn't deserve that. You don't deserve that. We all don't deserve that. But the problem is when you're a little child, you get taught that this is what you deserve. This is you, this is me, this is my rules, this is my house, da 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 da. Well, guess what? You're an adult now and you get to decide. So fucking decide with confidence. Decide with confidence what you want in your life and you will get it. And if you struggle with the victim mentality or looking at everything as very hard or feeling as if everything is out of your power, then I want you to go watch the video that's on the screen right now. And it's titled, "You Are the One That's Making Life Hard." Now, it might be a little bit triggering for you, but I really suggest and invite you to go watch that video before you get triggered. I think it will really help. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys resonated. Don't forget to like this video if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.